So now welcome to the second part of being your child pastor, especially for teenage children. Now, in this particular part, we talk about it informally, not only when you're seated down. Now, how do you apply this principle to grown-up children, teenagers, preteens that are very exposed? It's also very easy. What do you have to do to teach it informally? Remember the Bible verse said, talk about it when you're walking on the road. Now, most children have, if you have children that already have Instagram accounts and all of that, you have to go and check some Instagram accounts that are good. Instagram account on inspirational thoughts, Instagram account on prayer quotes, Instagram accounts, there's some account that are just on quotes and inspirational messages. You have to take your time, find them out. When you find this out, you now tell them, oh, there's something I really like that I want you to follow. Then you make them follow those. Now remember, there's something the Bible said, even a tree that is dead, as long as it smells, it has the smell of water, that tree will sprout again, okay? What you want is just something to be entering their life little by little, no matter how small. Remember, I said talk about it when you're walking on the road. So it's an informal thing. Now, they don't know what you're doing, but you know what you're doing. So some of you find like 4 quotes. It could be a quote on even something they like, but all those short quotes that are strong. So you tell them to follow, and you tell them to follow, and you follow as well. So what happens is that sometimes somebody's like, did you see the quote they sent on this? They have not seen to go and check the quote they sent today. The quote they said about the power of confession. Oh my God, that quote was so strong. And then you guys start discussing it. Or then sometimes you just ask the child, please, have you seen what is, please help me check your Instagram post. What did they post today on that site that talks about a woman and purity? That for the young girls, you have quotes on purity, quotes on becoming a woman, quotes on housekeeping. For the young boys, you have quotes on acts of chivalry, quotes of becoming a gentleman. So you just ask randomly and they're like, I haven't checked your Instagram, my friend. Please, what are they saying today? Me, I want to learn. Sometimes I'm lazy. You know what you're doing, you're intentional. So that way, after a while, when they know you talk about it, and sometimes you ask them, sometimes on their own, they say, oh, Mom, there's this quote, please, I'm not very techy, I want to be hearing these things, or it inspires me, but I really don't have time. But you must have a relationship with your children before you get to this part, which I might not be able to teach that. But in the place of prayer and communion, all of that will come, okay? So when you're talking about it, talk about it. So part of the quotes is when you now talk about it, since these are Bible-based quotes and inspirational quotes, you're also teaching them informally. Do you understand? Because maybe you have checked the quote for that day and you're like, oh, this is strong. And you now ask, and tell you like, oh, it talks about, it says, do not, my quote was saying something about imagination is what drives a man. And then you're not like, this quote, this one is too deep, imagination. But you now start saying, how do people even imagine? And then you now start a story. Do you know that when I was in secondary school, I used to see people do great things, but I always wondered why I cannot be like them. Then I know it was when I now met God. After I now met God, they now said that God will give you vision. You already planned. Your children too. Your life, sometimes I tell them stories that are out of this world, but these are things that they're like, Mom, you've seen, they're like, Mom, your life is so deep. I'm like, yes, my life is deep. Sometimes I use things that happened to my friends back in school. So they know it, they understand, but you don't start and just start talking. It has to be informal. So this is how you talk about it. Do you understand? This is how you use this informally. Then sometimes when you pick a word, if your family or your children are still with you, though they are teenagers, and you learn a word together. Now this is what you do. You tell them for the word for that week. He said write it and paste in different places. Maybe they are not at home, but some of the children that worked with me or that are now grown, they still write their word for the week and they paste in their lockers in school because sometimes they put it in a frame and they remember it because it's a tradition they grow with, But maybe because your children did start early. So what you say is you tell the child, now this is how you remember scriptures, that scriptures help, it makes you strong. Pick a word for the week. You can read different Bible verses, but just pick a particular word and say, this is my word. Keep talking about that word throughout the week. Then make it your screensaver throughout the week. Then also make it your DP. You know how when you have a WhatsApp DP for a day or something, make it your DP and your screensaver. And then there's something that's called timer. Put in your timer that every day, every 4 hours, it comes up. Do you understand? So what that thing is in that, because they're carrying their phone 24 hours and they have a phone. So this phone is like when it says paste it around everywhere. In the morning, when they wake up, the word comes up. Around 12, that same word pumps up again. Around 3, that same word pumps up again. Around 6 in the evening of 9, that word. So for 4, once it pumps up, Don't think about the impact it's going to make, whether this is lame, this doesn't make sense. It's not your business. But this is a command. He said, paste it everywhere. So it's in there, that 4-hour timer comes on. So this is something you're going to see there. And then you have your own timer. Sometimes your timer comes, you say, oh, my word for the day, word up. My word just came up. This is my, for the younger children, we call it, give me the word, okay? But for the older teenagers, you call it word up. You say, oh, this is my word up. My word just came up for the day. And you're like, the child is like, what's your word? This is my word for this week. And then maybe you're with a child in the market or anywhere or somewhere, and their word comes up. Say, oh, your word, your time, what's your word? You know? So that way, these are creative. But when you're not there, remember, spiritual things are not things that you go and open and see if it's manifesting. You're putting in strategies. I'm telling you what I've done with children, my own children, other children over the years. It becomes a legacy, a part of them. Some of them call to say, Teneka, if not for these things, because their spiritual principles have entered them. They put on timer, this thing comes on. So some people, after like 2 weeks, after 1 week, the word was not working again. I look for another word. I still do it as an adult. When I get a strong word and I want it to stay relevant, because there's so many things disturbing you in the world, there's so many pressure, I put it on my phone as my screensaver. So anytime I open my phone, that's what I say. After a while, if the word is not working again, because right now, sometimes we're not at home. So when it says write and paste everywhere in your house, most times you're not at home, most times they're in school. So, and if that teenager is already using the phone, let it be in their phone 2 hours. Let it be their screen. So tell them every week you change it. And then you tell them stories of how you have done it and how the word has helped you. This works like magic and is a principle. Okay, so it's very important. That's how you use this technique for older children. Talk about what you learned. Anybody can teach from youth. Okay, I talked about taking a battery on the road. And then it said bind it on your hand. One other thing, this might not sound, but you know what, it's very intense. And I promise you it works a lot, because you have to help them also to live in their age tomorrow. Most children now, they go to church and they say they don't want to carry their Bible and all of that. It's okay. It's not something you should fight. You must carry your Bible. The world is evolving, and eventually they have everything is now on the phone, YouTube, ebook, Kindle, and all of that. So the phone is also here. So what you could do, which I've advised, and some parents were super excited about it, is since they want to carry digital things, but you want their spiritual life to still be alert, I have thought it severally. If it wouldn't cost you so much to get your child or your children. Remember I told you you're going to born. Part of borning is that it's going to take a lot of money from you and all of that. But hey, you can't light up a candle. You can't be a candle that is lit if you're not burning. So you're going to lose something, but you're doing it for a good cause, okay? So get 2 phones. If they have phones, get 2 phones. One is their phone that they use for their network and everything and all of that and social. Then get another good phone. This other good phone, you call them their spiritual phone. In this phone, you have to on your own sit and would have looked for good messages that you put there. You have to download inspirational things. This phone does not have a number. This second phone does not have a number. This second phone also does not have contacts, but everything there is spiritual. When they want to, and then Bible verses, different translation. When they went to go to church, they should leave their other phone at home. Remember, it's a distraction. They should carry this phone. On this phone, that's where they have all their spiritual things. That's where they do all their spiritual Googling. That's where they have worship. If they are bored, they don't know what worship. You would have downloaded some messages. That's when 24 hours, make them carry. Say when you want to go to have your quiet time, carry this phone, don't use the other one. Now, what you're also teaching the child intentionally is as the child grows, like I personally, I have 2 phones. One phone is my normal phone. The other one is my normal office phone, and I have a 3rd phone. This phone, nothing happens in it for spiritual things, because I like reading different translation. I like doing research in Bible. It just helps me. I read commentaries. I read a lot. And so when I go to church, this is what I carry. I can't have notification. There's nothing in it. But because most of what I do is online, I just make sure there's a site. So it's now part of me. So I can't be reading and I'm distracted that a call comes in. No, so it's part of what you're trying to teach them, because that's the world they're going to live in. So that's how you make this, you bind this in their hand, not just binding phone in their hand. So when you have all this phone and you have spiritual things, it's like a second thing to them. It's their technology, it's their age. It's in their hand, but it's not the one that is distracting. If your child is 8 and they already have a phone that they use, then you may have to get them a second phone. And sometimes you're thinking, no, is it not too young? I'm not talking about the regular phone they use, but things for the spiritual age, because you have to train them to use it spiritually for tomorrow. Because everything they're going to do is here. They have to learn to walk with God online. And this is where they're going to walk online. They have to know how to underline Bible. When they go to YouVersion, how to underline Bible verses, how to make notes, it all has to be in their phone. I mean, that's a full course if I have to take it now. I really can't take it now. But start elementarily where you are. And as you're doing this, make sure you have your own. Because children also want to be sure that what you're doing, say, oh, let me see your notes. Oh, that's why you have to sit down and learn and get your candle, your spiritual candle has to come up. When it comes on, it comes naturally for you. What you don't understand yet, don't teach your child, okay? Teach from what you know. If it's only 2 things that you know on how to walk online with God, teach that child or you're going to grow with them. I grew with my children in my time. I grew with my children. You don't have to be super spiritual. Do you understand? So if you're not somebody that is yet techie, and you know how to use the Bible, your children could actually, even know this things. When you tell them YouVersion, I can go on and on about, but I'm just saying, bind this, get them 2 phones. You can't go wrong with it. And then something else. Please, I want you to also pray for online laborers, okay? Right now, like the woman I shared, she really prayed. Her child met God online. I'm in America. Meanwhile, when she was there, she was struggling for this boy to know God, So part of your prayer is there's a time when you have teenagers, you talk less and pray more. God will send a laborer that will minister to them on the streets of Instagram or on YouTube street or on Facebook street, and so that they don't meet the wrong laborers. It should be, they live online. That's their world. You can't take them away. So just pray. And I mean, she was telling me how this boy is now sending her Bible verses. She's like, Chaneka, is this real? It's actually real. If you're intentional about the spirit and soul of your child, God will redeem that child in Jesus' mighty name. So these are the things I want to. Then I'm still talking about, let them meditate. I don't want to talk about journaling now because that is deep. That is if I want to teach about journaling, that could take hours, okay? Then don't attempt to, I talked about it. And then what if they say, I don't even know where to read in the Bible, especially for teenagers? Let them just do Proverbs. Tell them if they don't want to use a devotional, tell them to do the book of Proverbs. Proverb is instructional, especially children that are not yet introduced to deep spiritual things. Even those that are introduced to deep spiritual things, just do the book of Proverbs, okay? From it, let them learn basic everyday instruction. But what you're trying to do is that they're getting acquainted with the word of God. Okay, then I said don't be rigid, get involved with them. What fed you might not feed your child. Online family devotional, and something again for teenagers. Though this is a bit advanced, this is about spiritual discipline and habit. It will come later, is that you have to teach them to have cyber fast. Every child in this generation, there is a teenager, but you have to take it easy. That once a week, they must have a cyber, even if it's 5 hours, from morning till 6 o'clock, or from morning till 3. That it should call it the day that they fast. It's called, we've been doing it over the years and it's phenomenal. In this age, food fast is not as strong as digital fast. So tell them, and remember what you're doing is not now, you're being your child's pastor. You're training the child spiritually and training the child for spiritual discipline. If it's pick a day, tell him maybe Thursday, that this day, whether you're in school or not, turn off your phone from morning till 3 or 6, that you're going on a cyber fast. Because their mind needs to rest. Remember, you're raising world changers. People will say, is your own not too much? Look, Jochebed's own was not too much. So this cyber fast is once a week, that this is the day I reconnect with God and I cut off. And then you also teach them that the days that they are fasting, normal food fast, their phone should also be off. For teenagers, if you're able to catch, normally like after a while, get them to do fast, like a cyber fast, I'm sure you're fine. But don't push it. Don't be too rigid. It's a day at a time. Something else you really have to teach your teenagers or introduce them to is reading inspirational books. To be honest, because they are bombarded with too much work, sometimes reading the Bible is a struggle. And when they read, they tell me, Teneka, I'm not connecting. So what you have to do is to make sure they look for inspirational books, because every time inspirational books actually stirs them up and now draws them back to the things of God. But these are not just, so that's why I said you have to burn. You have to go out on your own, look for these books, get these books, read the books or flip through, and that is why I said it's not easy. Now, so many children have introduced to reading inspirational books. Some of them, I'm telling you, they said if not for the inspirational books, they would have given up, But when they read it again, even if they can't read the Bible, it's actually talking about God, and it becomes a habit. Some of them will come and say, have you read this book? Have you read this book? Because this is something that was introduced to them. So for parents of preteens, especially teenagers, sometimes the Bible is dry. So you have to ensure If it's online one, I mean, this might be a bit too much, but I'm telling you, start from where you are. Start from where you are, especially now that they're on holiday. Everything shouldn't be another one. You're not getting them online course, cyber course, STEM course, all of this. All of those are good, but don't be rubbed and light when you carry a candle without a flame. These are some basic life principles that once the children have it, they'll be fine. In Jesus' name. So I want to be sure I'm not losing anything about how do you engage them informally. Sometimes you give them names of people. Have you heard this man? Like right now, Mike Tots. I know people say he's preaching hyper grace and all of that. But I have sat down, because I know I work with young people, I sat down and I listened to him. Mike Tots, he teaches the thing that generation should hear. Some of the things, if your child is spiritually deep, he'll filter out some. But is it not better for you that the child hears and then instead of not hearing anything? Am I communicating? I mean, they listen. There's a particular girl I tried so much to hook up spiritually here, but she was just distracted. And when I met her in the US, this girl was hooked to the TV. She was listening to Mike Tots. And I could see that her spirit was open. So you call names for them. Mike Tots, please. He just teaches. And I have heard his testimony and how he became who he is. He's actually called to this generation. So please get them to hear people. There's a prophet for every generation. Stephen Frederick, I'll try and share their names, some of them on our links, so that you will know the people that you have to listen to and introduce them to. Just to be sure that something, a prophet or somebody that is sent to your child generation is ministering to them. It's very important. And then finally, you might have to find a mentor. If your child doesn't like talking to you now very much, and when you're talking about spiritual things, look for somebody young. If you look for somebody young, look for somebody, and that is part of what I'm saying is work. Prayerfully find somebody that your child listens to. And above all, your life speaks volume. Because when they are young children, you can tell them, don't do this, but you're doing it. Once they are older, they see Christian parents as hypocrites. And that is one thing that just makes them not want to do a Christian drama. Children have come to me to tell them that, Janika, my mom says something else and she does something else. But you don't know. So those things just makes them not want to hear about God. They don't care. Please, it's very... Your attitude towards your driver, your attitude towards your nanny, your attitude towards your husband or wife, your attitude towards your parents, so many things that we do. Your attitude on social media, all of those things speaks more than 1,000, especially teenagers, more than 1,000 things you want to preach to them. There was once, some years ago, I don't know what I did. My son said, Mom, you're not a person of integrity, you preach integrity. And I'm like, this is what is... I didn't even remember that we had talked about integrity in Proverbs. She said, you said you were going to do this, but you never... He said, you said you were going to do this, but you never did. And I said, no. And I started explaining. And when I went out, to me, that was deep. We taught integrity when he was about 9. And here he was bringing it up when he was about 16 or so. So those things stick. So once they are teenagers, they are looking at your life. If you're hypocritical, they think everything. So you have to. Remember, you're raising a child after God, as somebody that God will use for destiny. You don't know the child you're carrying. You don't know who your child... Moses' mother knew there was something about it, but she didn't know it was deliverance she was raising. So you have to be intentional. God will help us and God will help you in Jesus' mighty name. So these are some of how you can use the techniques. I mean, it's unending. It's unending. It's not something I can finish sharing in one. It's not something we're going to finish. Don't only teach to correct errors. I talked about it. Don't only teach them, today when this child comes, I'm going to talk about addiction. I'm going to talk about women. Sometimes you're surprised, and that is why you have to spiritually pray, especially when you want to teach your teenagers. Maybe there's something triggering why that child is doing that thing, and you're busy looking at that thing. And that is why you have to pray so that God will breathe on you. Teenagers are not monsters. Our children will be for signs and wonder. So first, pray and prepare yourself, because they only hear you from your depth. There are so many, especially how to work online. I'm going to try and put up a class on teaching children how to work online so that we can deal with it, because for them, most things happen online. And these techniques are about sharing the word, give me the word, Bible study, prayer. They can never outgrow it. They can never outgrow it, because it's a principle that they're going to carry to their own homes. Even if you're not doing it for now, remember in a few years, they're going to be adults and they have their own homes, so that they can also carry it into their own. So that when they are now going to say, it was my mother that put all these principles inside of me. So it's not just for now. Do you understand? And if you think, I have my own children, those ones are grown, will they listen to anybody? Those children that are so wayward, forget about it. Do your own bit and pray more and talk less. God on his own will send laborers that will bring them. In Jesus' mighty name. So these are the little things. I'll try and still share more in the course as you continue to stay in our community. From time to time, we'll send things that you will do with your teenage children. But this is just how to apply those little basic, and later too, I'll talk to you about podcasts. I don't want to bombard you with so much now. You have to introduce them because I work with teenagers a lot. These are the things in their age. You have to start listening to podcasts. What are the podcasts that are interesting in their age? So that whatever it is, wherever they are, when they're far away from you, there's still something entering. I hope this did work, and if there's anything I forgot, I'm going to try to see if I can put it together. God bless you. Bye.